Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about a new toolkit I've been working on for the past year and a half or so. It's been a research and development, and it's a culmination of different ideas and philosophies and experiences that I've had working with these various tools and items. The tool case is going to be consisting of two ideas. The ideas are that I have a mini toolkit and a mini electronics repair kit. Since I do a lot of work with ham radio operations and some work around the house, I'm not an expert carpenter or HVAC guy or mechanic or whatever. I'm just your everyday average guy, and I like to repair my own stuff if I can. And throughout those experiences and challenges, this is what I've come up with. Here we can see the various ideas I've been going through for the past year and a half, and even older than that. And on the table, left from right, we have a variety of different kits. These aren't the kits I'm going to be talking about necessarily in the main part, so you can skip ahead to the actual toolkit. But this is going to go over the philosophy and the reasoning behind why I did what I did. Left to right, we have the VanQuest hybrid electronic toolkit. We have another VanQuest electronic toolkit. This is just for electronics only. And then we have a Maxpedition regular toolkit for non-electronic use. So we can see a culmination of the pure electronics kit and the pure toolkit, and then beginning, like I mentioned before, is the hybrid kit. Here on the table we have the electronics kit. This is a pure electronics kit that I made for just electronic work only, not for more mechanically designed tool projects, things like that, or projects that require mechanical tools. So I'll go over it briefly real quick. We have the front. This is an EDCM 2.0 huge from VanQuest, and inside I have a variety of different tools. I do have some sockets for some light duty work for electronic cases and whatnot. Locking pliers. I have my multimeter. I have wire strippers in here, a small one. I have my USB multimeters. I have a soldering iron, battery powered one with soldering iron tips and solder. So I have a lot of different things in here that are more geared towards working with electronics specifically than just everyday mechanical type work. So this is the purebred home kit that I have, that I carry around the house and I use for my ham radio projects. So I thought I'd show you guys what this looks like in the philosophy of this part here. Here we can see the Maxpedition double-decker. This is the bigger version, and this is the mechanically based toolkit, which is more geared towards just HVAC stuff maybe, or just around the house repairing. Different alignment of tools and priority of tools. Got a headlamp in there. Got Gerber multi-tool. Got a Victorinox multi-tool. Got my precision driver if I need it. Just a Work Pro replaceable blade cutter. Knipex pliers. I got plenty of different things. Got my little ratchet here. Got a 5-inch vice grip. So it's very mechanically based, unlike the electronics kit where I would have like multimeters and things like that. So this one's a little bit different, prioritized based, and it's got more stuff in the back here, which we can go over and show you in just a moment here. So this is the back end of the mechanical kit. I do have a tape measure in the back. I have a magnetic picker upper, some WD-40 pen, sharpener, and a multimeter back here, a little foldable box one, along with some gloves and other PPE and things like that. So this is more mechanically based for just portable little small toolkit that I would use, and I've used it before in the parks and on the job. Just something easy to reach to, and I don't have to carry a huge suitcase. So this is the tool version, the mechanical part of the philosophy that I've been working with. Here is the combination of both philosophies in a smaller, compact toolkit that made some cuts and minimalism, if you will, into one smaller unit. This is the VanQuest PPM Huge 2.0. And this is one of my favorite kits to carry as a grab-and-go kind of thing if I don't know what I'm going to expect, but I don't want to carry something too big. As you can see, it's very small. I do have a little strap around in case I want to carry it on my person like that. But this one's very crammed tight, but I still have my Knipex pliers, the Cobra pliers, and the regular wrenching pliers. I do have a smaller soldering iron. I have a smaller multimeter here. Solder, I even got a USB multimeter here, and then I also have a Leatherman Wave here, ratchet set here. I have some 7-Eleven ratchets in here, and even like torquing ones. And then I have a Victorinox cyber tool in here on the top, a small little kind of measuring tape. And I do have one socket set here, a metric one. It's the Makita one, and then I have my cables and whatnot. And I do have a battery bank in this particular one, so I can power up and charge my electronic devices if I need to. There's a bunch of other stuff in here, small locking pair of pliers in the back there as well. I've gone over this kit. This is a little bit modified from my original video back in 2025, so you can check out the full video and tear down this kit. But this takes the culmination of both a little bit of mechanical work and electronic work, and it combines it together in a smaller, more convenient form factor. The only issue is when you get smaller with these, that I found in the philosophy of this, is that it becomes very condensed, and it's not as easy to pull things in and out as fast. You can still do it, it's still organized, but it's a little bit more chaotic in my opinion. So again, I revisited the drawing board, so to speak, and I still wanted to have the idea of having a kit that did both things and had as much full featured packed items in it. So that brings us to the next thing, which is the main topic of our video today. Here we have finally the Maxpedition Beefy EDC kit, and this one is my oldest EDC bag. It's got the older logo. It's pretty beefed out, as you can tell from its namesake. It's been used and worn through a lot of different things. In the front here we have a mesh pouch which has a writing notebook, a little wash cloth here, and some gloves for PPE if I need it. And on the side here I have a little S-binder clip to keep it from opening up with the zippers too much, so it stays nice and complete and tight. On the back there's Molly Pal's webbing. I could mount this to a kit if I wanted to via this here, and it's got a nice grab handle which makes it really convenient to grab. These are some of the best EDC bags that I've used and own. I have different kits, multiple kits that use this kind of platform from Maxpedition, and also through VanQuest with their gear too. But today we're going to talk about the Maxpedition Beefy toolkit that I have, the hybrid one. This one's on a bigger scale than the red one. It's because I want a little bit easier access of the tools inside the bag. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look inside here. Now it's definitely maxed out to the brim here, and it's a work in progress, but it's kind of the culmination of all my ideas thus far for 2026. And as you can tell, it's got a variety of different tools here. Let's go ahead and start with this side here of the tool case. I have the Leatherman Wave. I'm not going to do a full teardown on this, but it has main tools like a single edge blade here, and we have a saw, we have a 3-sided file, diamond coated metal saw down here, and a crosshatch section, more coarse on the top there, and then we have a serrated blade for cutting different tools and things like that. Not tools, but different materials. On the inside, basic pair of pliers, wire cutters, etc., and then a bunch of tools on the inside. The main thing with this tool is the interchangeable bit here, which runs with the other kind of things that I run in the kit. Will go into this here, and we can use that to quite a good effective use with the kit. So it's a modular piece of the kit that I have here that goes with this one tool. Let's go ahead and put that back in there for a moment. Next multi-tool that I have here is a newer one that I got. This one is a 90s model. It's the Toolzall Pro Electrician, and the reason why I have this in the kit is because I do like having a pair of decent wire strippers in the kit. Now I can't find any wire strippers that are this form factor and fits in this size for the kit, so I had to go on eBay and find through a lot of research and waiting and patience to find a piece of kit like this. Now this is one of the models that are similar to the Baron Sons type of multi-tools. This one has the metal stoppers. The other ones that I have had plastic ones, so you'll get different quality control and versions of this particular multi-tool if you're looking for it. The main thing is it does a lot of wire stripping and some light duty wire cutting for solid wire and some multi-stranded wire. But on the outside it's got similar tools to the Leatherman Wave, and it's got locking tools. It's got a partial serrated blade, straight edge. We have a file here and a lot of oil that I put on this recently to keep it nice and lubricated. A slotted screwdriver, and then it has another slotted screwdriver down here too. I'm not going to go over the whole entire tool, but just some basic tools that I use on it. It has a Phillips head screwdriver, an actual 3D one, which is quite nice. Can opener, bottle cap lifter, and we also have a saw here as well. And we also have these little depressors. Now the way this works is it locks by pushing it back like this, and you push down on the depressor, it comes back in and unlocks. So kind of the early form of the Victorinox Swiss tool, if you will, or the Swiss Tool X. This is they bought out the design for this and made that Victorinox. But that's the Toolsol Electrician Pro. Very hard to find on eBay. Pretty cool model to have and works fairly decently. Next up for multi-tools, I'm not going to do a full breakdown on this. I'll do a separate video on it. But this is the Excalibur. It's made in China from, I can't remember the name, but it's a Gerber-based type of platform. And basically it's a scissor company that makes it. I forget the scissor name. But anyway, this one has a pair of nice shears. It's spring-loaded, and these things cut like heck. If you give a nice chop down, it'll cut most materials pretty effectively. So I wanted a good scissor-based handheld option for my toolkit that I can use on a lot of different materials, and this one works very well. Is it a little bit redundant to have 3 different types of multi-tools in the kit? Absolutely, but I might swap this out for just a dedicated pair of scissors. However, this one does have backup redundancies that I do like. It has a bunch of files and things like that, even a blade with a stud on it that locks, so that's quite interesting. That it has a liner lock blade, which is quite nice. And coming in and out like this is kind of fun. It's a little bit finicky, but works very well. The Excalibur tool, and it fits nicely into the kit here, which is why I have it in the kit. I have a pair of nail clippers for zip ties. I have a flashlight. This is a rechargeable one with the proprietary recharging. It's the M200 version 3 from Skill Hunt. So it does work fairly well. It's not waterproof, so you got to be careful about it, but it has a high CRI color rendering index LED in there, meaning that it renders colors accurately. So if I'm working with more electronics and wiring that has a specific color thing, I want to see the color as best as I can. So that's why I have this flashlight inside of it. So that we'll put that on the side there. Take this out. As a matter of fact, we'll take out all the tools we talked about so we don't go over some things here. Moving along, we do have a USB tester. This is part of the electronic side of the kit, just for testing out USB ports and whatnot, running it, see what the meter runs at. Next up, we have some sockets here. These are Makita impact rated sockets, metric and SAE. You get them from Home Depot. Another cleaning cloth in here that came out of the webbing. I have 2 of them. So that's for cleaning up washing stuff. And in here, I have a small bag full of just some, it's almost like sandpaper, but it's on a stick. That's what they use to file nails. So I figure having some kind of filing material is good. I have a glue stick in here. I also have a candle for wax and for heating, so I can light the candle, melt my glue, and put it onto something. So I do have a way to kind of keep using a glue stick without having a glue gun in the kit. And I do have a little poker thing here for cleaning and scraping. And a birthday candle, a smaller one too. So that's my kind of glue set in there. Next up is that same Work Pro, they call the replaceable razor blade here. It's got a new one inside. Haven't used that one yet in the kit because I use other stuff with this. And on the side here, attached to this removable S-binder clip, I do have a couple things. I have some solder. This is more for copper piping and stuff. And attached to this and this here is a small loop that I can check things with a magnifying glass. And I also have a small level in the kit. On this side here, I do have a USB charging cable for my other tool, which I'll get to later on, but I can charge stuff via USB and to USB-C. Next up is a small vial of WD-40. So I take these little small sprayers that I find from various places like alcohol, sanitizers and stuff like that they give away at certain fests and things like that. I'll keep it and I'll put the WD-40 from cans inside of it. When you're done with the can, you don't want to throw it out. You want to poke a hole in the bottom, drain it, and then put the rest of it in here, and then you'll have more to use at the end, and you don't need a pressurized can. So works pretty well. WD-40 in a little spray bottle. Next up is a first tool that I use with my Leatherman, and it's attached to this little circular unscrewable lanyard here, and this is basically a small bendable 7-11 ratcheting tool. So it works very well with the bits that we have in the kit we'll go over in a moment, but you can attach this flat end into the flat end of my Leatherman, if I can find it here. I've got so many tools on the table. Here we go. So this flat end would fit into the bit adapter of the tool here, and I've demonstrated this in my other videos, but basically this will fit in here. Then you have yourself a ratchet that you can use with your Leatherman. And this also works with other holders as well out there, but I got that one specifically for the Leatherman. So it's a small, portable, bendable type of ratchet. It does come in handy for awkward situations and works fairly well. So I keep it attached here via the S-binder clip and the little cable that it comes with in the case. This is a pretty good tool from the 711. I do recommend getting it if you like the small tools. It's not for heavy duty work, but it does work for precision work, especially electronics and hard to reach places. So I do recommend it. 711 bendable ratchet. Pretty cool stuff. On this side here, we have just a credit card with duct tape on it and also a flat folded section of electric tape. Next up, we have this Weha bit set. And I could take this out to save weight, which I probably should do, but this is another type of ratchet, a little bit more sturdier. Although this one is kind of a pain in the butt because this tends to switch when you're really ratcheting hard down and stuff, I've noticed, when using these kind of ratchets. So it's not the best ratchet in the world from Weha. It does work and get the job done. But we do have the extender here, and these are security bits. So this is for anything I might encounter that has security bits on it. Comes in pretty handy. I do have another bit set in the kit here. It has a little bit of redundancy, so I might take that out and modify it, but this is the main security bit set that I have in the kit from Weha, and it fits nicely in the little rubber band pouch there. Next up is another 711 combination tool here. This is the Lollipop bit driver, and it actually just comes with this here, and they sent this to me for review a few months back, and I love this tool. I've been using it. It's got a nice amount of torque, and you can pull this little bit out and really get some good torque down on a screw. So if I don't want to use my other precision driver, I use this as my main screwdriver, and it's got a nice little smooth turning radius here on the head here, so you don't have to worry about turning and hurting your wrist too much. And this comes with a nice bit that they gave me. And they also sent me this a while back, and this is sort of like their 711 Newton meter, or basically your torque tester. See how much you want to torque down on something or tighten it. So I keep it attached to this so it stays nice and conveniently together, and this is my setup. So it works very well. Again, this will work with the 711 ratchet even if I wanted to put it in there, because it's a 6mm hex bit, and a very cool tool. I got another video on it. You can check it out. Very nice tool to have in here. Works fairly well. Finally, into the spine here. Let's go ahead and take out our Berkling. This is our butane torch. Now I have different setups for this. I have one that has a front part here, and I keep this kind of for the torch setting because I like to melt things. Working with soldering and whatnot, I do have a little solder head which comes with it. One I've used for soldering, as you can tell in the bag here, another clean one, and I use that for my ham radio stuff if I can't get a hot enough electronic solder to work. And I do have electronic solder in here, but this is the main butane torch of the kit. I had to cut down the cap to fit into the bag here, unfortunately, but it does protect the sides of it, so that's why I still have it on it. So it's working fairly well. This is the hex wrench to undo the heads there and get to it. Next up, I have a bag here for keeping parts in, and in this part I do have my ANEG multimeter. Now I do have a piece of item in here blocking the contact point so this doesn't turn on with the battery in it, but I have a rechargeable battery in it, and this is my multimeter of the kit. This basically plugs into here, and this is the positive prong here. Got a little hair in there from work, and I'm able to test out things and run and use this for measuring stuff. Magnet that came off the glue here, so a little magnet there, a little hair tie for kind of tying things together. I even got a leaf in here from working outdoors in the kit, so I haven't cleaned out this bag in a while, so excuse me if it's a little dirty. I have another USB-C to micro or USB-C charging cable here as a backup. Another rubber band. Basically I use hair ties as rubber bands in here. And then finally we have a zippered compartment in the back here, which houses a lot of other stuff inside. Try to pull this stuff all out and go through it quickly to make this video short for you guys. So I have my plug-in cable for the electronic USB powered soldering iron. so put that on the side here. I have a small bag full of just kind of heat shrink wrap tubing just for small projects. I have the charging cable for the flashlight, the proprietary charger here. So it plugs into USB bank and plugs in onto the light. I can charge the battery in the light. The light itself uses a 14500 battery and or a AA battery, so it can use both batteries, which is quite nice. I like flexibility in the field, and that's why I have it. It's just a cap cover for the prong and probe if I need it, so I'll put that back in there. And that's it for the inside. I'll throw this back inside the case here. Get everything kind of situated. Okay, so that's this side of the beefing. Let's get over to this side. Quite a lot of gear to go through still, and we're trying to make the video as short as possible. Starting with the front here, I have this Klein 13-in-1. This is the 32611P, and now they do sell a version on Amazon, which is similar to this one. It's just a different number designation, and you won't find that in Lowe's. This one you'll find in Lowe's in the plumbing section. The reason why I like this is that it's got a 6mm holder here, which again works with the ratchet. Again, I have a video on this and these two things working together, and it has its own proprietary bits here, which you can then put back in here and use this. They're double-ended bits, and it's pretty cool. You can get another couple bits out of here and just kind of work with it. I love using this screwdriver. Even by itself, it's a great handy tool. The spinning cap is really nice in the palm, fits well. I don't use it for high torque situations. I'll use the lollipop bit driver in that case if I want to have a high torque situation. Obviously without the torque attunement thing, but I'll use it like this and I'll be able to get a better torque on things. So I have a variety of different options. Even this can fit in here too in the little 6mm holder. So fits nicely, works very well, and I like a lot of the 7-Eleven tools. They work very well with other ecosystems. And this Klein Tools one is a great tool to have in here. It's one of my go-to screwdrivers for precision work. That's why I don't have a Hoto in here anymore. I just went over to this, as this is a little bit more modular and easier to use. And it's got a longer neck too for those hard to reach spaces when you're working on like computers or something and you really got to get in between the electronics. So it works fairly well. Great tool, and it's got a magnetic bit end, so it picks up a lot of stuff too if you drop it. So it's a very cool tool to have. Put it on the side here. Next up is the venerable Knipex pliers. These are the 125mm. These are the smooth jaw, and they work very well for indoor work. And you got to be careful to use these outdoors. I do get dirt in the track sometimes. It kind of makes this very hard to use. So you want to use outdoor rated tools if you're going to work outdoors. Sometimes I do. And it's got a little bit of junk in here, so I got to clean my stuff here. But I haven't kind of used it in a little bit while. This one I used on a project with Meshtastic Node on Mount Beacon about a month ago. So very cool tool, great for tightening up things, very quick to use, a lot of leverage, a lot of utility out of this small tool that you can get out of. That's why I like the Knipex 125mm pliers. And then going over to the Copperhead water pump pliers, these are the 150mm, so a little bit more of grab. The teeth are very aggressive too, so you want to be careful if you don't want to mar something with this type of pliers. Again, excellent tool for the kit, just a little bit more leverage if I need it, and a little more teeth if I need to grab on something. Here I have a common brush, which I use to kind of just clean things with, and just kept it in the kit as a cleaning tool. Next, I do have my adapters for the Leatherman to 3D bits or 3D bit holders. So this would go into the Leatherman Wave once again into that platform. This little flat bit will fit in there, and then I can use 3D bits like this, for example. And then I can go to town and kind of screw things up. No pun intended. And I do have an extender here, which I kind of just keep it together. This comes with another electronic tool in the kit, which we'll go over again. It came in the kit here. It's not an extender. It just keeps it organized so I know what's there and around. So I have the extender there, the adapter for the Leatherman, and a small Phillips head number 2 screwdriver. Next up is a recent acquisition that I got over Christmas from 7-Eleven, and this is their ratcheting Leatherman bit adapter, which is amazing. This thing, you can put bits in this end here if you wanted to. It's kind of hard to pull off sometimes with this. There we go. This retainer is very good. You can put it on a key ring, put this on a key ring. Again, I did another video on this specific tool. You can check it out, but basically it's a very... it has a lot of torque for this particular ratchet. I've seen videos where the this goes up to 65 Nm, and this part breaks and not the ratchet. So the weak point probably is the machining the steel here. It's part aluminum, part stainless steel, but it works very well. It's very good, and it's got a nice sound to it. It's a little bit more, well, it's definitely more heavy duty than the Leatherman ratchet, but it's a little bigger though too, so that's why it's in this kit. And then I have a interchangeable adapter here, which goes into for sockets, so we can use that with our sockets if we need to, and then pops out and we can put other stuff in there temporarily, like a 3D bit or a hex bit like that. So you got a quick release. So it works very well for quick jobs. Again, an adapter like that I don't normally use. It's nice in this kit because it fits in with the theme. And once again, this is a great ratchet to use with everything else. So I can just use this and bear down on something and torque it in. I've done another video on that. You can check it out later. Moving along, we do have a lighter. This obviously, having a lighter in a kit helps out when you need to have some kind of flame or something like that. This one might be out of fuel, so I might have to replace this one. It might have been pushed down, so I got to replace that. It's a good thing I looked in the kit. Been using it a lot. This is my solder for the electronic side of the components. And in here, I got these Sonoto pliers. These are the 125 millimeter pliers, and they are fantastic. They're made in Japan. It's got this little like gripper in the back. I forget what they call this, but it's for wire crimping, I think. It's got a nice cutter in the center here, so if you got to cut something, this one really does a good job. I think these are anvil style cutters. I don't think they're bypass ones, but they work fairly well. It's got a little gap there for, I guess, crimping or something. But these needle nose come in handy here. You got aggressive teeth here, and then you got fine, a flat tooth section here. There's no teeth here, so if you want to grab something and not mar it, you can grab it on the inside or grab it on the outside. And these little needle nose gets into places that all these other pliers don't get to, and that's why it's in the kit. It's a pretty valuable tool. Great tool to have, and it's pretty cheap. It's about 13 bucks on Amazon. Moving along, I do have the magnetic grabber. These are popular. Everybody knows these. You pick up a tool that you dropped somewhere, and you can just grab it and keep working. So fairly good. And in this side, I do have a little $1.25 store pen light laser combo. Again, this is for like pointing out things. If I don't want to get close to something, I can just use this and point out the stuff. Got more junk in here. But yeah, so pretty good to have, like a little laser pointer is pretty good to have in a kit. This one also actually happens to be a pen, so I can use this for writing as well if I need to. So again, I can write in my notebook with this, and I can use this as a stylus too if I don't want to get my dirty hands on something. So it is quite nice to have that in the kit here. On the side, we do have our Sharpie. I got it in green because I wanted something a little bit different than a black marker. Black marker is fine. This one just adds a little different flavor to it. But again, basic Sharpie works fairly well. And finally, we do have a 5-inch pair of pliers. Basically, your Harbor Freight version here. Not the best quality, but it gets the job done, and it does hold on to things pretty well. And I always like having a pair of locking pliers in my toolkits. They come in handy in a variety of different situations. So that's it for the front side of this pouch, other than the safety pins that I have here. As you can tell, behind the front end, we do have a bunch of zip ties, obviously for zip tying stuff. I do have a snap gate that I got from Harbor Freight. This is both in centimeters and in inches, so pretty good to have. And here is our electronic USB controlled soldering iron. Not the best one in the world. It's been used, as you can tell. It works fairly decently for small end projects, for just soldering wire together for a ham radio project or something. It will get the job done. I'm probably going to upgrade this to a more internal battery operated one, so this way I can kind of use this without having to go find a USB power source. So one thing I lack in this kit is actual USB battery bank, so I kind of want to get that. And finally, we have this down here. This is our Hodo precision screwdriver. It's seeing a lot of use here. It's got 3 different torque settings, I think from 2 to 4 to 6 nanometers, I think they call it, or newton meters. I'm not sure, NM. Basically, it's basically the torque setting on it. You can manually turn it as well. It's got I think maybe up to 9 newton meters of torque, but it automatically does 6 on the higher setting and 2 if you want to keep it low end. But I've used this with quite a few different things, and it works very well on projects like drilling holes into PVC pipe, and I even put like drill bits like into here, and I slow drill into things. So it does work. It's a great automatic screwdriver. It has come in handy. I thought about taking it out of the kit because it takes up a lot of space, but I actually managed to fit it right where I need it, and that's on the corner here. Now this does come with a bunch of other bits as well. It's a little bit of a redundancy with that WeHa set, but these are non-security bits, and they have a different sizing of, as you can tell, the cross point type of screws. So it does have a little bit more variety and extends my bit kit a little bit more. So it works fairly well, and I do have that extension bit in there too for this, so I can get into the harder reach spots. And it makes things really easy if you're working with IKEA furniture and crap like that, just to kind of screw it in and be done with it. So it does save a lot of time, I can tell you that. So that is an optional electronic accessory in the mechanical portion of it. And we're almost done with the kit here. I do have another bag in here. This is a electronic bag in case I got to keep parts that are sensitive to static. I got an anti-static bag. It's the kind you get when you get parts from the store. I kind of save them and reuse them. And then I do have an Olight little titanium light here. This one you can recharge via the USB-C port here. Kind of turn it and then plug it in, and then you can have like a USB-A to it or whatever. And this one just turns on. So this is kind of a quick light to grab if I'm in the kit. I don't want to use my main light. I just pull this off and I can see something. It's magnetic, so I can stick it on something and it will hold there. So a little bit of a hands-free operation. A little bit different philosophy than having a headlamp in the kit, although I might do that at a later date. And that is it for the kit. All this crap is on the table. As you can tell, it's quite a lot of stuff in this kit here. And the reason why I made this, again, the way I made it is it's a little bit easier to get to some of the stuff in the kit for me and my uses than it is for that smaller hybrid kit. And plus, I can put a little bit more stuff like a full butane torch, which I do use for soldering, and a electronic screwdriver mainly. And that allows me to kind of work a little bit more in depth with the projects I've been doing. Again, I just do ham radio stuff. I'm not a HVAC guy or a mechanical guy or anything. I do work on my own cars, but I'm no expert. I'm just your everyday average guy. That being said, that's all I have to say about my Maxpedition toolkit. It's taken like a year of research and going back and forth of seeing what works and what doesn't work. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy your day.